Wow, I get attacked by 5 of these things?
Okay, that's alright. We're being attacked!
Welcome back, everyone. To start off the new year, I decided to play a classic RTS game from my childhood, Warcraft 2 Remastered. No, I never played the first Warcraft, and probably never will. Despite getting both remasters, I still decided to skip it for the game I'm more familiar with, Tides of Darkness. This real-time strategy game was released in 1995. Published and developed by Blizzard Entertainment. A year later, in 1996, we got an expansion called Beyond the Dark Portal. But I won't be talking about that in this video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a playthrough of the expansion. Then in 2024, Blizzard decided to remaster both the first and second game. There was some controversy over AI was used. In my opinion, it's not a big deal. I'm just happy I get to play this old game easily on modern computers. I understand they released a Battle.net version, but Blizzard has since taken that down. I do enjoy the updated look of everything. We can cry and complain all we want to tell companies not to use AI, but we all know that's not going to happen. Companies have begun and will continue to use AI to generate content for them instead of paying a professional artist. If it truly matters to you and it's that obvious, then don't buy it. I personally never noticed, nor does it bother me. As long as the game as a whole is still fun to play, then I won't care if it was AI generated or not. They even have a button in the top left corner to let you switch back to the old graphics if it means that much to you. They even made some changes to the gameplay, such as instead of only selecting 9 units, they were nice enough to upgrade it to 12. Some may not like this because they're pro players, and this gave them an edge in multiplayer being able to micro large armies, but I appreciate the change. Overall, it's still a fun game to play no matter who you are, even for younger gamers. For you young kids that are curious what old games were like, I think this is a perfect example. I'm sure most won't like it because it feels very simple or primitive compared to modern games. I did find myself being careful and slowly siege a base, for example, only for a Death Knight or a mage to do some bullshit spell like Death Coil or Polymorph to piss me the off. As usual, we're going to go through the story, so spoiler warning, what I liked and disliked, and any funny or awkward moments that happened to me during my playthrough. Let's go!
Excuse me.
Our way into this. Warcraft 2, Todd, is a straightforward game. You have 2 factions to choose, the orcs or humans. The campaigns let you decide the outcome of the war, similar to the first game, but Blizzard decided to treat the orc campaign as the canon story. So here we pick up from the last game where Stormwind has been destroyed and the human survivors retreated across the sea to the other human kingdom of Lordaeron. If you look at the map of the second game, it's interesting to see that Azeroth used to be the name of the southern region of the Eastern Kingdoms, then you have Cosmodon in the middle, and Lordaeron was the north region. Wow, Warcraft has evolved so much since then. Anyway, the orcs then crafted their own ships in order to sail across and continue the war against the humans and their alliance. When starting a mission, generally you will start by getting workers to a gold mine to collect gold, and they will bring it back to the nearest great hall for orcs or town hall for humans. You then can make more or need to build more farms to increase your supply to have more units. Then build more workers to chop down trees. Clearing trees makes it possible to build on. Both factions basically have the same type of structures. Both have a barracks for building units, both have a lumber mill, both have to build a structure like the Ogre Cave or stables to build the same type of units, but the later tiered units have different abilities to make them unique. Footmen are the same as grunts, axe throwers are the same as elven archers, knights are the same as ogres, but after upgrading knights to paladins, they get abilities like heal, which is overpowered in my opinion, since you can just heal up your troops after every battle, which is a big deal since most units don't have health regeneration. Meanwhile, ogre magi get bloodlust, which doubles the unit's damage, which is also overpowered if you give everyone bloodlust and then throw them at the enemy. You'll watch as enemies' health bars just disappear with a few hits. Most missions boil down to destroy all enemy units and structures on the map, But there are some, like transport this unit to the marked area, build this many units or structures in a specific location, or go destroy this many of a specific structure. I get they were limited on what they could do at the time, but I still appreciate they tried to tie the objectives into some story-related reason. Like in the human campaign, we just need to destroy 5 refineries because we are trying to stop the orcs from escaping with their fleet by destroying their oil production. It's not much, but it helps you imagine the significance of each mission to the war. Yes, there are boats in this game, and that's what was different from Warcraft 1. You build a shipyard on the edge of some land, then build an oil tanker to go get oil to build other ships like destroyers, battleships, or transports. It adds a fun dynamic to the game. Well, that's mostly it. Hope that was straightforward because I'm jumping right into the first campaign, the Orcs.
The Horde is preparing to launch an assault against the mainland of Lordaeron. The war chief, Orgrim Doomhammer, orders you to establish an outpost on the southern shores. To secure the Zuuldaer region, you need to construct a barracks and several farms.
Very simple mission because it's a tutorial. Like I said, use the peons to gather gold and lumber, then use them to build the barracks and 3 new farms. I would send the grunts to kill the footmen on this tiny map, then kill them off to lower your supply to build more peons. Grunts are your basic early game melee fighter. You can speed up the game in the settings to finish this faster.
Spies report the humans have captured a war party of trolls led by its commander Zul'jin. Doomhammer sends you to ransom Zul'jin and his trolls and return them to their own encampment.
When he says ransom, I think he means kill all the humans and take what they have. And that's exactly what I do. You have more than enough troops to start, so just head on over. No need to build up your base. After breaking the trolls out, keep following the path and move the trolls onto this red circle.
In preparation for a final strike on Hillsbrad, War Chief wants you to start construction on an Orcish armada near the South Shore region. The trolls have agreed to aid the Horde and have supplied their axe throwers and ships called destroyers.
You must build a shipyard and build 4 oil platforms to supply the fleet. It takes a while to get started since they only give you 2 peons to start. Eventually I get my shipyard going and start building some destroyers and begin clearing the seas of elven destroyers. If you want to build troll axe throwers, you need a barracks to build them, but also a lumber mill to unlock them. There's also another gold mine on this island if you run out of gold. Get 4 oil platforms built for the victory.
Now that the armada is supplied with oil, Doomhammer feels it is time to make a gruesome example of Hillsbrad. Build a foundry to unlock more advanced ships in order to transport your forces across the channel to the cowering human settlement of Hillsbrad. Leave no one alive.
As usual, build up your base until you have about 5 peons gathering gold and 6 to 8 peons gathering wood. Then build a barracks or 2 to get an army going, and build a shipyard to get some destroyers to clear the waters of enemy ships. Keep some troops near your base because the enemy does send attack waves at you. Then build a foundry to build transports. These only carry 6 troops at a time. Then land on the shores with the humans in the top left corner of the map. My first attack wave ended in failure, so about 5 minutes later I launched another assault. And this time I landed a peon on shore to build a barracks so I could keep reinforcing the army. Make sure you eliminate all enemies on the map, including this oil platform in the top right corner for victory. A cutscene plays of some dead humans hanging, then an orc sets the bodies on fire.
With the township of Hillsbrad decimated, rumors of impending doom spread throughout the human kingdoms like wildfire. Doomhammer is pleased and has deemed you worthy of a more difficult task. Trouble has arisen in the dwarven lands of Cosmodon. A task force of strong god warriors have taken Dun Modra, a vital staging area for Horde troops. You must retake Dun Modra and then take the nearby island of Tol Barad.
First, send your troops down and take out the blue humans in this area. Catapults are great at taking out buildings from afar. They do hurt units a lot, but the attack can be dodged. Also, be careful when running by structures getting attacked by catapults, as they do sometimes cause splash damage and can even hurt your own troops. You also can make goblin zeppelins for scouting the map. Takes me about 25 minutes to build up my base and upgrade my troops. That's right, you can build a blacksmith to unlock construction of catapults and upgrade the damage and armor of your melee weapons like grunts, as well as the damage of your catapults. Build an army, throw them into transports, and begin the assault on Tol Barad in the bottom left corner of the map. Make sure you go after their forces like this ballista. Then speed up the game to finish off all their structures, and use your destroyers to finish off any ships.
Doomhammer sent word that the ogre mage Cho'Gall, chieftain of the Twilight's Hammer clan, is inspecting the refinery at Grim Batal. An ambush is expected to occur while he travels through the Badlands. The war chief expects you to safeguard Cho'Gall and his minions through this region.
Now we get a unique mission with no building. These are the troops you start with and need to carefully use. Use Cho'Gall's Eye of Kilrog spell to scout ahead. There's different routes to take, but I prefer going south and clearing the area of humans. Watch out in this area for a ballista. Best way is to get it to fire and miss, then use your catapults to take it out while it reloads. Now catapults have the farthest sight range, allowing them to attack enemies from afar. Keep heading south following the water until you get about here. Take out these red humans when another ballista shows up to attack. Luckily, my catapults take it out. Then lead Cho'Gall to the red circle for victory.
Cho'Gall reports that the refineries are fulfilling their quotas. The Horde will have enough oil to mount a fierce campaign, and the lands fall to the north. Only the human defenders of Stromgarde remain to be dealt with. The human fleet has captured a group of our transports just south of Stromgarde. Recapture the vessels, and then lay waste to their capital.
Move your forces up and take out the humans. But don't do what I almost did and used axe throwers to destroy the destroyers. Use these destroyers to destroy the destroyers. Then use the transports and land here and take out this small group and the watchtower guarding a gold mine. Get to work building up your base. After about 25 minutes, I built a couple more destroyers to eliminate the human ships around their base, but most of my ships got destroyed. We finally get to train ogres. First, you need to upgrade your Great Hall to a stronghold by having a barracks. This will increase the amount of gold you get by 10%. And now you can build an ogre mound to unlock ogres. They're mainly just better versions of grunts. Build up your forces as usual, then I landed here and slowly advance using my catapults to draw the enemy towards me. My ogres and axe throwers would easily slaughter their defenders. If a ballista came up to attack, I rushed it with my troops. Thanks to my upgrades, most of my forces were able to defeat all the defenders, then spread out my forces to attack every structure still standing. We get another cutscene of giant turtles eating human sailors.
I like turtles.
Your forces have been assigned along the southern border of the Elven Kingdom of Quel'Thalas. Gul'dan hopes to sow seeds of chaos among the human and elven allies, has located a mysterious elven artifact near the keep of Kar Darrow. This runestone is guarded by a human castle in the middle of the Darrowmere Lake. You must destroy the forces that guard this relic and gain control of the runestone for use by the Horde.
This mission, we get ogre juggernauts like siege ships that deal massive damage but have long reload times and can only target ground forces. While building up my base, the humans send an attack wave which was easily defeated since they approached right past my fleet. However, this was only a distraction to the main force of a knight, a footman, and an archer. I couldn't believe my eyes. The AI did something strategic. Sometime later, once I had a few juggernauts ready, I sent them to the island to destroy the defenses. The island was surrounded with cannon towers, and lots of knights and archers were on the island. I circled around trying to take out the towers as quickly as possible, while taking as little damage as I could. Meanwhile, the humans landed a counterattack on my base, but my ogres made quick work of them. I continued to circle the island and noticed I should be close enough to attack the human castle with my juggernauts, just as soon as I kill all these archers that keep approaching. I landed an ogre to draw in the knights, and then slaughtered them when they got in range. Then landed some troops to take out the remaining forces. The knights by this point were paladins and were healing their injured troops, but I was able to destroy the castle and move close enough to take the runestone for the victory.
With the capture of the Elven runestone, Gul'dan was able to warp the power it contained to mutate an entire legion of his loyal and ruthless ogres into wielders of arcane magics. These ogre magi have been granted deadly magics. You are to employ the ogre magi in the creation and defense of a fortress at the mouth of Tears Bay, cutting off the human supply lines into quell the loss.
I thought I should mention up until now, I didn't realize my recording software wasn't recording in-game audio, but once I caught it, I fixed it. Now I can also mention the music in the game is still catchy, and there were many times I was humming the same 5 songs that get played on repeat. Last thing to mention, you can turn off Fog of War, which I did, and I don't care what you guys say, it's an option in the game, and I find it useful to see incoming attack waves. You can now build a fortress in order to build the Altar of Storms to upgrade your ogres to Ogre Magi and cast the OP spell Bloodlust. You can't have an ogre cast it on himself, so you have to have them cast it on other units. The enemy sends more attack waves, so make sure you have units to defend. Then head out and use the same strategy as before. Juggernauts to clear the coastal part of the island, then land some troops to clear the area. Remember to cast that Bloodlust because the paladins won't have time to heal their troops since they die so quickly. Land 2 peons on the island and build a shipyard and build a great hall, then upgrade it to a stronghold, then upgrade it to a fortress for the victory.
Strathhold, the chief source of Alliance oil in the north, is preparing to deliver a massive shipment to the kingdoms in the west. You must sabotage their refineries and platforms to halt this shipment, then proceed to crush any and all resistance offered by the Alliance.
Now we get to learn about goblin sappers. They can blow up these rocks to clear a path. There's not much space to build, but try to make the best of it. Head north and you'll find the entrance to Strathholm. I do my best to use the catapults to take out enemies and buildings while avoiding sneaky ballistas. This is why turning Fog of War off and using a zeppelin to scout the map makes it so much easier. Also, the enemy keeps sending upgraded paladins. I then built this wall of towers to help with the defense, but you have to watch out for ballistas and send some troops to deal with them. Eventually, I'm able to make progress by breaking through their wall to the east, then slowly advance with my Ogre Magi. Annoyingly, the humans have mages and will either slow my troops or cast Fireball. I just push forward, taking them out and their mage tower, then slowly take out all their structures until nothing is left. Then I had to build a fleet, which took a while, but eventually I cleared the waters of human ships and oil platforms.
With Strathholm destroyed, Alliance supply lines to quell the loss have been severed. Only a handful of humans and elven defenders remain to be slaughtered by the Horde. Gul'dan has unleashed his most perverted creation, the Death Knights. These Death Knights seek to unleash their wrath upon any foolish enough to stand in their way.
You'll get attacked right away, but you have 4 ogres to deal with them. Get to building up your base as usual and start scouting the map. As you can see, their base is to the southwest, with lots of archers along the way. Blue will keep sending attack waves every 5-ish minutes. I do get a forward base going and start building some Death Knights. However, I learned pretty quick why I never use Death Knights. Paladins just beeline it for the Death Knights and cast Exorcism, almost killing the Death Knight. They have stupid range and usually will sneak up on you and take out your hurt Death Knight. Right away, this made me not want to invest in Death Knights. Eventually, I just sieged with catapults and used Ogre Magi to protect them, while spamming Bloodlust. Just watch out for mages and their polymorph, forming a wall like this and throw in some axe throwers to take out anyone getting in the way. Slowly but surely, I got through and destroyed the main base, then took out the remaining forces scattered around for the victory. Another cutscene, but we see a demon and it looks like a door opens and the demon charges outside.
The Northlands have fallen, and now only the western regions remain, as the Orc clans prepare for their final massive campaign against the Alliance. The War Chief sends ill tidings. Gul'dan and his Stormreaver clan have betrayed the Horde and coerced the Twilight's Hammer clan to set sail for an ancient tomb buried beneath the waves. An infiltrator reports that Gul'dan has opened the vault, but is unsure what he has unleashed. Doomhammer issues this command: destroy the renegade clans and return with the head of Gul'dan.
This map is mostly water, which will make this a challenge because both blue and purple keep sending ships, both destroyers and juggernauts, constantly at me. I would build a great hall on this first little island to get easy gold, then take this other island and build your base on here, but keep your buildings away from the coast. Your only hope is to use the 3 catapults to one-shot ships that get too close. I feel like I'm exploiting the AI, but it seems to be the only way to survive. It was hard enough just to get a shipyard up and start building a foundry, so I could at least start building some juggernauts. Oh, and you can build turtles now. They're basically submarines. Ships can't see them unless there's another turtle or zeppelin nearby to see them. They hit pretty hard and fast, but they do have a small amount of health, so I would say they are great for short but quick attacks. Later on, I get my fleet going and start clearing all ships and killing anything near the coast, then landing some troops on the main island. I even brought a peon to build a barracks, but the peon got one-shotted by a Death Knight. You're gonna need goblin sappers to destroy the rocks to get to Gul'dan and Cho'Gall. Watch out for the flying demons. That's why I had some watchtowers for defense. Then it just became a game of using catapults to destroy buildings from afar, and protect them with Ogre Magi when troops try to attack. They try to repair the towers, but it's nice when the catapults deal splash damage to them. Anyway, finish destroying all buildings and use your navy to destroy all ships and oil platforms for the victory.
The Orcish hordes stand ready to sweep across this domain like a pestilence and seize the capital of Lordaeron. Standing vigilant is the violent citadel of Dalaran. This sanctum and haven to the mages of Lordaeron is the last barrier between the orcs and their subjugation of humanity. This place must fall for the Horde to conquer Lordaeron. Fortunately, Doomhammer has saved his greatest weapon for this moment: dragons.
You'll start in the upper left-hand corner and have to make your way south and arrive at a gold mine to start your siege camp. Dalaran is surrounded by water and has only one way in from land. I would hurry and start building dragons ASAP, because the Alliance will try to get their Griffin Riders going. I think I was able to stall them by attacking their towers from afar, forcing their workers to come down and repair it. Once I had a few dragons, I could start attacking where they didn't have watchtowers. However, do be careful. Dragons can cause friendly fire on your troops. They will try to surround the target, and that's when it could happen. I use catapults to destroy the watchtowers and send my dragons wherever they can do the most damage without taking too much damage in return. After a long assault, I finally got the victory.
Lordaeron's capital looms before you in the distance. The proud, defiant armies of the Alliance stand resolute in their final, fleeting moments. All that remains is the call to battle. The tides of darkness are now at hand.
Everything is unlocked, so now we just have the simple objective of killing all enemy units and destroy all enemy structures. You start with 2 forces on 2 different islands. I would build up bases on both. Usually the base to the west gets attacked most often, but the one on the east does get attacked later on. There is also some enemy troops on the island. I try my best to take them out with a catapult. If you don't stay ahead of the enemy, you might get overwhelmed with Griffin Riders. I would recommend getting dragons up ASAP. Then use them to defend and attack the enemy until they don't have any ships left. Then land some troops with peons to build up a forward outpost to easily build up troops. It takes a long time to slowly take out their structures, but eventually get to the Griffin Aviary to end those annoying Griffin Riders. Then later, victory was mine. The final cutscene is the orcs launching some catapults to destroy the wall and begin charging into the capital. Then we watch the throne room doors get smashed open and the shocked face of the king. Then we watch some fighting going on and end with the orc grunt looking over the fiery battlefield.
The victory pyres burn high into the twilight skies, covering the ruined capital of Lordaeron. Your success has led Orgrim Doomhammer, War Chief of the Orcish Hordes, to elevate you to the station of Warlord, thus giving you power and the command of your own clan. The Alliance has finally been crushed, with all those surviving being slain and cremated as is dictated by rituals. At long last, Azeroth and all of its lands belong to the thunderous force known to those foolish enough to stand in its way as the Horde.
Due to your position as regional commander of the Southern Defense Forces, Lord Tyrannus commands you to raise an outpost in the Hillsbrad foothills. Rumors of orc marauders have been raiding coastal towns in the area. Just like the first mission in the orc campaign, we do the same thing here. Build 3 farms and a barracks. Kill the orc grunts around the area and kill off your footmen for more supply. The mysterious elves of Silvermoon have sent archers to survey the orc threat for themselves. Our spies report that as they passed through Alteric grasslands, the elves were ambushed by Horde troops. The elves are now being held in a small prison camp near Terran Mill. Lord Tyrannus wants to enlist the elves into the Alliance, has asked you to rescue the elves and bring them to safety. Same thing as Mission 2 of the Orcs. Grab your troops, head northwest, kill the orcs, break the elves out, and head back to the circle. With the safe return of the elves, the Council of Silvermoon has decided to combine the armies of Quel'Thalas with the Alliance of Lordaeron. They have even decided to send elven destroyers to help safeguard the mainland. In preparation for the arrival of these ships, Dalen Proudmoore, Lord of Kil'Taras and Grand Admiral of the Lordaeron fleet, has ordered you to construct naval facilities near South Shore. So, just like Mission 3, we need a shipyard and build 4 oil platforms. It's really easy, not much to say. We're moving on. Having established order in the region, Proudmoore advises the time has come to search out the secret layers of the orcs. Scouts report the base is located somewhere in the Zuuldair region, just southeast of Hillsbrad. Lordaeron artificers have completed designs for a foundry to create transport ships to ferry your troops across water. This map is a bit different, but still the same design. Build up a fleet, clear a landing on the island on the opposite side of your base, then build a force and transport them to the enemy base and destroy it. Yes, it's just like Mission 4 from the Orcs, but in reverse. We watch a cutscene of what looks like people traveling on a road and soldiers look on as a city burns. Despite the Horde being pushed away from Lordaeron, the townships of Hillsbrad and South Shore were left in ruins. Impressed with your victories, the High Command has decided to dispatch you and your troops to the main battleground. The forces of Stromgarde and Kul'Taras are fighting the orcs from advancing into southern Lordaeron. An orcish outpost nestled near the ruins of the ancient dwarven city of Dun Mordra has beaten back Alliance troops. You must reclaim the nearby island keep of Tol Barad and then launch an attack upon the outpost. Once again, the map is very similar to the 5th orc mission, but also in reverse. We stop the attack, and then I scout out ahead and begin the process of building up my base, then land some troops on the island and slowly move up with my ballista. I try to set up my troops to form a barrier. It is annoying the orcs get ogres, but I don't get knights just yet. Eventually I destroy the base and all ships. The orcs were forced to retreat south to a secondary outpost called Dun Alges. Lord Lothar hopes to push the orcs back even further back, has ordered you to destroy this encampment. Now we get the powerful knights.
Sire,
I would slowly build up my base and get some knights out for defense, then clear out the enemies on the map to secure secure another gold mine, then head south and begin assaulting the encampment. I still use a wall defense to protect my ballistas. It works very well. Scouts report they have located Grim Batal, the primary base of Horde's refinery operation in Cosmodawn. Lord Lothar orders you to infiltrate Grim Batal and put an end to the Horde's activity there. So we just need to destroy 5 refineries, but we start by heading downward and get some catapults. Try to swarm the enemy to take as little damage as possible, then use the catapults to clear out the towers. Then take the transport south and ferry your troops across to clear this base. Then we can establish our own base and then get a fleet up and running to destroy these refineries. I even killed all of my troops just so I could build my fleet and eventually get battleships. You can just charge forward and destroy the refineries for victory. We now get that cutscene I think most Warcraft players know about. A footman sneaks up on an orc grunt and kills it, then launches a catapult to destroy the Zeppelin. With the destruction of Dun Modra and Grim Batal, the orcs have withdrawn their armies from Cosmodawn. While victories have been notable, the Horde still survives. Lord Lothar stationed your troops in the Northlands to protect the borders of Quel'Thalas. The populace of Tyr's Hand have entered a minor revolt. You must quell this uprising and summon the Knights of the Silver Hand to watch over the populace, and then search out all the Horde forces in the area and destroy them. Head into the town and kill the orange-colored peasants. Keep that color in mind for later. Then start building up your base and build a church to research paladins. Now we can use the OP spell Heal to keep our troops alive. There's 3 Horde factions, red, blue, and purple. I quickly headed north and took out Purple. He had quite the army, but it was no match for my knights and footmen. I kept attacking his base while I kept building up my base. It worked really well, and I was lucky I didn't get attacked during that time. Blue actually tried to help out Purple, but it was already too late at that point. Then I went to red base with ballistas, paladins, and archers. Then regrouped and healed everyone up. Then slowly assaulted Blue's base. At that point, they researched Bloodlust, so I had to be extra careful. Eventually, I destroyed the base for the victory. With the Paladins keeping watch over the Northlands, Uther Lightbringer of Lordaeron has come to offer comfort to those who are suffering from the war. Lord Lothar has entrusted you to protect Uther as he travels to the island township of Car Darrow. We get a set number of units for this mission, so try to keep these units alive as best you can. First, you need to clear this channel of enemies, both cannon towers and axe throwers. Then get Uther and his troops into a transport, then send your fleet over here and clear the area. Notice these orange human ships attacking you. I am sure this is a hint towards something. Anyway, send Uther to the circle. After the battle, a number of renegade Alterac soldiers were captured. Alterac sailors were also caught assisting the Horde during the battle and have been placed under close guard. Under the edict of Lord Lothar, you are to escort the prisoners to the capital for interrogation. So we need to get at least 4 of these orange workers to the red circle at my base. Now this mission is actually a challenge. There's a red base that requires quite an army to defeat. However, there is a blue orc base to the west that will keep sending attack waves. Once I get some battleships, I try to use them to destroy the transports. I would suggest 4 battleships to clear these waters and stop blue from attacking you. However, you do not have much gold on this island, so I would try to take the blue base to get additional gold. I carefully try to draw the enemy in range of my battleships to take them out, then I send a paladin in to take out this annoying Death Knight, then raised an army to take out red, then built a shipyard here to construct a fleet in order to take out all the cannon towers. This allowed for safe passage to pick up the prisoners and take them back. Lord Lothar sends word that Lord Perinold, the sovereign ruler of Alterac, has been working with the Horde since the beginning of the war. He provided the orcs with the routes of the elven archers passing through Terran Mill and the rebellion at Tyr's Hand. The High Command has decreed the nation of Alterac has committed treason and their union with the Horde must be broken. You must free those unjustly held by Perinold and enlist their aid in launching an attack against Alterac's capital. Now this was quite the interesting experience. I didn't realize I was supposed to head north to rescue these workers. Instead, I took my entire army and carefully assaulted the capital of Alterac. Despite not having any upgrades or paladins to heal my troops, I did manage to destroy the capital. However, when I realized the prison to the northwest and rescued the workers, all remaining enemies rushed to my base and began trying to kill me. This was 30 minutes into this mission. It literally came down to the workers I rescued to finish off the last of the enemies.
Very well. Very well.
Kill the knight! Kill the knight! Okay, kill the footman! Kill the footman! Oh god!
I thought it was over, but it turns out there was a dragon in the southeast. God dang it! So I restarted, and this time I headed north and got the workers from the prison, then built up my base, got all the upgrades, and did the same kind of assault on the capital and killed the fucking dragon. We get a cutscene of 2 orc ships getting blown up, then alliance ships sailing through the debris. With Alterax's destruction, the orcs have begun a massive retreat from the north. Admiral Proudmoore sends word that Gnomish submarines have located the Horde's main naval base near Crestfall. Lothar has ordered you to destroy the base at Crestfall before the fleet can escape. Even though he said to destroy the base, our objectives say to destroy all ships and shipyards, so you don't need to land any troops on their island. It's the easiest mission, honestly. Just worry about building up a fleet and clear the waters of all enemies and oil platforms. The remnants of the routed Orcish fleet have managed to reach the northern shores of Azeroth. Proudmoore believes the Horde will attempt to reinforce their main fortress at Black Rock Spire. Leading a large strike force, Lothar was sent to attempt a parley with the Orc chieftain Orgrim Doomhammer. No reports have been heard in days. Admiral Proudmoore and King Tyrannus have agreed that it falls to you to stage a final siege upon Black Rock Spire. The dwarves have offered their service of their Griffin riders to assist. We watch Lothar and his knights get slaughtered. Well, time to get busy building up the base, scouting the map. We have an orange orc faction on one half of the map and red on the other. Both have to be destroyed. I start by building a fleet to clear the waters and keep a flying machine nearby because there are some turtles hiding in the water. Once their shipyards are destroyed, I then first clear this island in the middle to have an extra gold mine ready. Then begin the assault on the orange base from their south. It was a slow process at first, but then I just rushed in with my paladins to take out their catapults and death knights. Soon the rest of the base was destroyed. My main base got attacked during this time, but I sent some Griffin riders to deal with them. Then as I shifted over to red, he loved spamming these tornadoes at my ships. Really annoying, but I couldn't get through, so we had to start on this part of the land. I sent a worker to start building on the land to make reinforcing easier. I began the long assault, taking out orcs with my ballista, then sending in paladins and archers to take out their forces. Red had bloodlust at this point, so I did take a few losses if I wasn't on point with my healing. Once I got into their base, it was only a matter of time before I defeated them. They just still had a lot of troops to deal with. Eventually, I cleared out Black Rock Spire. The orcs have been driven from the Northlands and have rallied to protect their last bastion of hope, the Great Portal. With Lothar dead, you have been given the duty of leading the forces of Lordaeron to ultimate victory over the Horde, a victory that lies with the destruction of the Great Portal itself. This is a really hard mission, which should be fitting for the last mission, of course. I carefully destroy this first orange base, but do hurry because white will send dragons to attack you, and all you have is archers to deal with them. Orange has Ogre Magi, and they cast Bloodlust, of course. Try to take them out with as little damage and start building a base as soon as possible. I would focus on just building archers to deal with these dragons, and get paladins ASAP, so you don't have to keep spending gold on new units. About 30 minutes later, I had some paladins to keep my archers alive to deal with all the dragon attacks. Do watch out for Black's Death Knight drive-bys. Seriously, he will cast Death Coil, which sometimes just one-shots units. You could build a force up to go and attack Black, but it seemed pointless unless you wanted their extra gold. Instead, I just began building Griffin Riders and sent them towards the dark portal to destroy it. White will try to stop you, but it just took a long time to destroy, so just increase the game speed to get the victory. The final cutscene is a footman opening his helmet, then pointing out the portal. Then a mage begins channeling some spell, and we watch as he destroys the portal. Quiet settles over the black morass with the blackened, burning remains of the cursed portal, serving as a solemn reminder of the evil that once stood here. After the long and savage battle, you stand victorious over the tattered remains of the once mighty orcish hordes. Those orcs that survived the conflict have fled to the northeast in hopes of escaping your vengeance. You allow them their reprieve, knowing that the power of the Horde has been forever broken and that the lands of Azeroth belong to its native sons and daughters once again. In conclusion, Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness is still an enjoyable game. It may be a relic of the past, and gameplay is very simple compared to modern day RTS games. It still has some complexity to it. All that really matters in the end, did I have a good time? I would say yes, and I look forward to playing the expansion. There is also Warcraft Chronicles of the Second War, which is a Warcraft 3 mod. It sounds like a reimagining of Warcraft 2, but with the gameplay of Warcraft 3. I'm sure I'll check it out sometime, but not next month. Oh no, I got something special for you guys to see. I bet most of you probably haven't heard of this game. Please come back next month when I do a retrospective review on a point-and-click adventure game that was rated adults only. See you next month! Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to help grow my channel, and comment below on what you thought. Also check me out on the Time Pals podcast. Links in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.